Hi everyone, my name is Miss Green, and today we are going to be discussing how Alabama became a state. So, the important vocab we need to know before we begin is Constitution. Constitution is a written set of laws. So, we have a U.S. Constitution. If we got together as a class and if we sat down and said, okay, these are all the rules that we need to follow, that would also be a Constitution. Word number two, capital. This isn't like a capital letter. This is different. It's a seat of government. We have an important capital, state capital in Montgomery that we're going to discuss, and we also have a United States capital in Washington, D.C. These next three words fall under the three branches of government. So we have legislative. When you see this word, think laws. The legislative branch actually makes the laws. Um, Second word we have is judicial. They interpret the laws. When you see judicial, think judge. They are the ones deciding is this fair or does it need to be changed. The last branch of government is the executive branch. When you see that word, think execute. This is whoever is making sure the laws are carried out. An example of legislative would be the Senate and the House. An example of judicial is the Supreme Court and the lower courts. And the third, executive, that would be the president. Okay, so why did people come to Alabama? Well, thousands of new settlers came all across the U.S. to Alabama after the Creek Wars. They came here because the land was so cheap and affordable, and also the soil was rich, so that meant that they could plant crops and make a profit. If you'll look at these two maps, the map on the left-hand side is from 1803, the map on the right-hand side is from 1822. You will notice something very different about the maps, and it is Alabama is not on this map in 1803. It is not there because Alabama actually didn't become a state until 1819. How many capitals do you think Alabama has had in its existence? It has actually had a total of five capitals. Five capitals. According to the Northwest Ordinance, a district must have 5,000 inhabitants before it could become an organized territory. Um, so Alabama didn't have enough people to begin with to be a true territory. The first capital was St. Stephen's. This was from 1817 to 1819. The enabling act took place. They took a census and you had to have at least 60,000 people to become a state. Well, they had that, so voila, St. Stephen's, the first capital. It didn't last long though because Huntsville became a capital in 1819. It was temporary though; it didn't last forever. But in Huntsville, it was the site for the Constitutional Convention and the first session of Alabama legislature. And the new Constitution set up government within three branches. The first governor of Alabama was actually William Wyatt Bibb. And unfortunately, he was the first governor, but he actually passed away because he fell off of his horse. But later, his brother, Thomas Bibb, became the next governor. Okay, the third capital that came to be was Cahaba. It didn't last too long, 6 years, because of the floods that came that caused the legislators to flee. I know a lot of you live near the Cahaba River. Fourth state capital that came to be was Tuscaloosa. The low waters of the Tombigbee and Black Warrior rivers made travel difficult, and cotton growth in the Black Belt made moving necessary. So they said, we're going to go a little bit down south. And also, a fire spread through Tuscaloosa, so they decided to change that central location a little down south to Montgomery. A lot of you may have visited the state capitol, some of you may live in Montgomery. If you've been there, you've seen this beautiful spiral staircase that was actually built by an African American named Horace King. And you've also seen this rotunda. Paintings is actually 8 murals by a Mobile artist with the last name McKenzie, and it depicts periods of Alabama's history. So it's very cool. These are important questions that you need to know for your test. How many capitals has Alabama had altogether? What is Alabama's current capital? And why did settlers want to move to Alabama? Alabama has had five capitals. The current capital is Montgomery, and they moved to Alabama because the soil was rich and the land was cheap. So thank you guys, and I will see you soon.